Hi, this is Carrie with Canary Quilts, and this is the final block video for the Spooky Sampler Quilts. I am following Pat Sloan along on this quilt along journey for the Spooky Sampler, and I have combined the last 2 weeks since I got a little behind, and we are doing the pumpkins, the ghosts, and the flags. So we've got 16 flags, which I happen to have 16 fabrics left in this bunch of fabrics that were sent for this quilt. And then I've got these 4 flag blocks that we're going to do. And these look like a lot, but they really weren't. They were very easy to put together, and the fact that I had 16 different fabrics made it not so boring putting together the same thing. Then we've got our pumpkins. These 2 large pumpkins are left. And finally, we have our 3 ghosts. Right here. Which these were fun to put together, but they were a little more labor intensive. You're doing the snowballing technique, and you're doing the snowballing technique, and you're doing flying geese in this. So it just took a little bit longer to put these together. So these are the final blocks on this Spooky Sampler quilt, and next week I'm going to be putting together all the sections and putting the quilt top together. So thank you for watching this video, and if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and I'll have plenty more videos like this in the future. Thank you very much. This week we are going to be doing the flags here, and they're down here and down here, and the ghosts. That doesn't leave much else. I guess all we have left are the large pumpkins, so maybe we can just get all 3 done this week. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out some fabrics and fussy cut some of these pieces here for the flags. And then I'll work on the ghosts, and then I'll work on the large pumpkins. So let's get to fussy cutting. So in looking through my fabric for the flags, I'm going to have a lot of fabric left because this is what's going to be used for the ghosts. I'm just going to keep these 2 separate for the pumpkins. And so for the flags, I've got my choice of all of these fabrics to use. So I need to make 16 flags, and I might be able to just make 1 flag from everything on here, which would be pretty cool. So I'm going to get started. I got to cut a bunch of squares for the flags, and we'll be doing pretty good. So now that I have all my pieces cut for the flags, I'm going to start putting together my pieces for the flying geese at the bottom. And right now I'm just kind of laying out what I need to do and then pinning together the pieces so I don't lose them. I want to make sure I keep all my matching pieces together. So from here on out, that's what I'm going to be doing for all 16 flags, is putting together the different small pieces. And then I'm going to take it over to my machine and start making the flying geese. So we are making flying geese for the bottom of these flags. And I've got 2 square pieces of my colors and a rectangular piece of the background fabric. And I'm going to take 1 square piece and line it up with the right side of the background fabric. And then I am going to sew from the middle diagonally down to here. So I've got my seam, and I'm going to cut the top part 1/4 inch away from that seam, and then I'm going to go over to the iron and I'm going to iron it up like this. Now I've got 1/2 of my flying geese, so I'm going to take the other square, put it on the left side, and then I'm going to sew again from the middle down to the bottom corner. And I will be sewing over that other orange piece that I just sewed on. Cut 1/4 inch away from the seam. Iron it back. And you got yourself a flying geese right there. Now I got to do about 8 more of these. Now that we have the flying geese done, it is time to assemble our block. So we need to sew these 2 pieces together. And then we need to sew these 2 onto the sides, and then the last piece that gets sewn on is this piece down here. So that's what we're going to do to all these blocks. But I think what I'll do first is just get these 2 blocks sewn on to all of my pieces so that I know that I have them in the right order. So that's what I got to do. Get my flying geese sewn to the bottom of my fussy cuts. So now we take all our pieces, once we have the flying geese on them, and we're going to put these side background pieces on. And each of these gets a side. 2 sides right there. So that's what we're going to do now, is put these 2 sides on all our pieces. Quarter inch stitch. And then we've got our bottom piece that goes on right down here. And there's our completed flag piece. I just have 16 more of these to do. Okay, I've gotten all my flags done, so now it's time to assemble. And right now I'm going to assemble these blocks here that have 4 flags in them. And I've gotten this one done. Turn it around here. And then this is how I'm going to put this one together over here. So I'm going to go over and get this block sewn together, and then after that I'll arrange the rest of my flags and make that row. Okay, I got my block put together here. So I've got these 2 4 flag blocks all done. So now I'm going to assemble this one, that row of blocks. Let's see what I want to do. What colors do I have? Let's just lay them out how I've got them here. I think I want to put a darker one, and then a green. I want an orange in the middle. That looks good. I'm sure it'll look good once I get it in the quilt too. So I will start from this side and I'll start adding them on until I get my row done. There we go, I got my row done. Brutally honest, I thought that these flags would take a long time to do because there's 16 of them. But they really didn't. And the fact that I did 16 different flags, like 16 different fabrics, it just made a big difference. It didn't make it boring or tedious. It was a lot of fun. But it really didn't take as long as I thought. So I've got my row done, and I've got my 2 4 flag blocks done. So I can put these away, and I am going to start on the big pumpkins. So next I'm starting on the 2 large pumpkin blocks that are down here. And this should go together very quickly. So here's my 2 pumpkin blocks, and then I'm going to take these squares and we're going to do what she calls snowballing. Put them in the corners, and we're going to do a diagonal stitch here so that it folds up like this and gives it that round pumpkin. And then for the top, that's really simple, where we take these 2 background pieces, a stem and another background piece. And that's all you have to do to make these blocks. So I'm just going to head over to the machine with all these pieces, and I'll be able to put this together really quickly. Okay, I wanted to come back real quick and show you what these look like after I get them snowballed, sewn on in the snowball technique. So what we're going to do now is cut these off. So there's about 1/4 of an inch of material left next to each seam. And then we're just going to iron those gray triangles up, and we'll have our square back. And then it will look like a pumpkin. So I'm going to get those ironed, and I'll be right back. There they are, my pumpkin blocks. I probably spent all of about 10 minutes doing these, if that. So up next and last is these ghost blocks. So I'm going to get all my materials out, and I'm going to get everything cut, and then I'll be back. Okay, I've got all my pieces cut for these 3 ghost blocks right here. So we're going to start with the top of the head of the ghost, which are these 3 pieces. And we're going to snowball some smaller gray background pieces to the top. So let's get these oriented the way I want them. So we're going to take these gray pieces, and they'll go in the corners of the top of these. And then we'll do just like we did with the pumpkin, where we're going to snowball. We're going to stitch right here on the diagonal. So that's going to be the first thing we do. Flying geese. So our 1.5 by 2 inch pieces, which are right here, are going to make our flying geese. So we're going to need 9 of those since we have 3 blocks. Take our 1.5 of these. Yep, our 1.5 inch squares. And we're going to do our flying geese just like we did. What was the last thing we did a flying geese on? Oh, the flags. So we're going to stitch there, and then it's going to fold up like this, and then we'll do another one over here. So that's going to be our flying geese right there, and then we're going to do the eyes. Yeah, we got a lot going on. So these are going to be how the eyes go. And those are going to be the eyes. So the eyes are there, the top of the head, the bottom of the ghost. These I don't need to sew anything on but the eyes and the flying geese. And then we have our background pieces, which will be sewn around the edges of the ghost when we're done. So that's where we're at right now. I've got to sew these on. I've got to sew the flying geese, and I've got to sew the eyes. So I'm going to get those done and I'll be back. Okay, I got my pieces sewn together here, and now we start assembling our little ghosty. So we need to, let's see, we need to start with the top here and add eyes, and then a body, and then his little bottom of his sheet. And we need to do the edges, which that's really going to shrink up, and then a bottom. So that's how our little ghost is going to go together. So I need to do that 3 times. There's my 3 ghosty blocks. These were pretty labor intensive, but they turned out really cute. I wasn't too sure in the beginning, but now that they're done, I really like them. So they're actually going to go together like this. So to wrap up today, we've done the 3 ghost blocks. We've done the 2 pumpkin blocks, the large pumpkin, and 16 flags. So I am done with all my blocks that I need to do for this quilt. And I put all of these together already, and I've put this together. So in the next video, I'm going to put these 3 sections together down here, and then I'll put the whole thing together and we can see what it looks like. So let me know if you're making this quilt and what you thought about it and how yours turned out. I appreciate you watching this video, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, you can hit the subscribe button and you'll get updated every time I put content out. And again, thank you so much for watching this video.